Hello, everybody. I have the pleasure of speaking with Sarah Guo from Greylock Ventures. She is a GM at the firm, and here we are at AI Frontiers Conference in Silicon Valley. So, Sarah, your company has been big on blitzscaling, especially Reid Hoffman. What is it all about?
Blitzscaling is a strategic framework you use to figure out how to compete and grow very quickly in a state of uncertainty. So it's about knowing, when to burn capital and what risks to take based on the competitive environment.
So, do you focus more on revenue generation or on creating a big user base?
It really depends on what you think is going to give you breakout critical mass, right? And for many companies, that is user base. And on the enterprise side, it tends to be enterprise customer base, which translates into revenue. But it's both are sort of what metric is the metric that matters that you've won against your competitors and getting to some critical scale.
So, for companies that are working on the AI in the AI space, what do you suggest to do to align their business model to comply better with this mindset, blitzscaling?
Yeah, I think, one thing that's very specific to companies with AI at the core is they need to get to a certain level of data where their models are actually usefully accurate, right? And to get there, people tend to have to either have a very clever product strategy that involves data collection naturally, or they need to do something that doesn't scale very well, like pay for expensive labeled data, either internally or externally. And so, depending on what the competitive environment is, you may do something that doesn't scale very well in terms of your labeled data collection.
So, do you entertain AI companies that synthesize data if they don't have access to a lot of organically produced data?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting research going on in that area, and if people can show that use of that data is valid, then wonderful.
Amazing. And what are your thoughts on autonomous agents?
I think it's an idea that's existed for a very long time, and there seems to be increasing evidence that if it's a problem that's scoped to a particular domain or where errors handled gracefully for a particular set of use cases, then we're going to see more and more of it in the real world.
Cool. And what is your prediction for 2019? What would you like to see in 2019? Exciting.
I think there's a whole bunch of different trends that are happening, but I'm actually more watching the markets than anything else. I think if the current bull market continues on next year, we'll be in the longest bull market of the last 140 years.
Oh yeah,
very
absolutely.
Different.
Okay, and that brings a lot of opportunities, I would say.
I think risk and opportunity.
Of course. Thank you a lot, Sarah. It was a pleasure. Have a great speech, and we look forward to your speech. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sally.